Yeah, I was going to ask you when we choose to partner with the flow of the fountain, where would Bonaventure say, in your words, that it's taking us?
Well, that's a good, what I was thinking, and again, I grew up in the West Coast, in Santa Cruz area of San Jose, Santa Cruz, California, and of course, I couldn't help but think of people surfing. But
Hmm.
to be honest, the surf's up, so to speak. But I think the flow is to become as large a spirited person as you can be,
Hmm.
and the flow to believe that you are connected. Uh, Bill McKibben, the environmentalist, makes I think, a very sweet and pithy saying: the best thing an individual can do to respond to the global climate change and environmental crisis is quit being an individual.
Hmm.
You cannot be a drop of water by yourself. You're connected to every other one. And I think that the philosopher Whitehead made the comment that the religion, or the true peace and the true religious sense, is to go from self-interest to world loyalty.
Hmm.
There's something bigger than us, and we're part of it. And we're important. I mean, and there's nothing in Bonaventure that would deny the value of the person sitting in the room and their own uniqueness, but their own uniqueness is connected with every other. And in a way, he's thinking of, again, of Francis, who struggled obviously with his limitations. The greatest example was the encounter with the persons with leprosy. That he like many of us, doesn't mind giving them an alms from a distance. Yeah, and he was a very generous person all his life, even before his revelation, at the, and various revelatory experiences. He was a very generous person. He'd give you that bottle of wine if he had it.
Hmm.
Uh, he'd invite you over to the house. He'd give you the tunic off his bath. Uh, but all of a sudden he realized, at the same time, he felt a total alienation from persons with leprosy. He was he's a little bit like during the height of COVID, when people were afraid to be walking outside, and if your neighbor came out their front stoop, you'd go back in.
Yeah.
uh,
Yep.
I remember, as just a bit of a side, at the time of COVID at its height, I was living on Cape Cod, and I'd made that my practice of walking on the beach almost every morning, when rain, shine, or snow or ice. And we were so frightened at first, if I'd see another walker, in the distance, I'd kind of go over to the other side of the road. I mean, no, breath can kill. Breath can kill.
Yeah.
I mean, how much we've learned. But God reveals to Francis, that's my child there. And Francis not only gives him a coin, and becomes the saint of persons with leprosy, he gives the man a hug and a kiss.
Hmm.
The empathy, we are not, Ubuntu would be a wonderful word here. We are here because of one another.
Hmm.
Uh, and the sort of sense that really does matter to me what happens somewhere else. The fountain is not zero sum, that the more I go with the flow of God's grace, the more grace there is for others. And even though Bonaventure wouldn't explicitly say this, someone like Francis and us adds to the value of life and what God can do in the world,
Hmm.
by our own alignment with God's vision.